Our series begins with Lily walking through the forest, visibly upset after a fight with her sister. Suddenly, her teacher Hanson drives by and offers her a ride, so she gets in. On the way, he asks her what is bothering her. She tells him she fought with her sister. Hanson knows Abby because he teaches her as well, and he remarks that although they are twins, they are very different. She explains that this difference wasn't obvious when they were young, but now they look nothing alike. She points out that her sister loves attending his classes, whereas he notes that Lily rarely shows up. She gets embarrassed and doesn't reply. As she gets close to her house, she directs him to take the next right, thanking him and saying he can drop her there. However, he continues driving and stops a bit further away. Lily prepares to get out but finds the door locked. She asks him to unlock it, but he just stares at her without saying a word. She gets nervous and calls out to him again, but he doesn't answer. She takes out her phone, but he suddenly snatches it from her hand, suffocating her until she loses consciousness completely. He throws her phone out the car window, starts his car, and holds her captive. Before we find out what he does and where he takes her, we go back to the very beginning of the series. We see Lily and Abby preparing for their final high school exams. When they arrive at school, Lily goes to her boyfriend Wesley, while Abby follows her teacher, Hanson, to show him her college application. It is clear she has a crush on him. He tells her he is proud of her, calling her the best student he has ever taught and wishing her continued success. Before leaving, he gives her a poetry book as a simple gift from an English teacher to his student, noting that she can now call him by his first name. During the exam, Lily teases Abby about her handsome teacher. Abby laughs and focuses on her test. Afterward, they celebrate their last day. At home, Abby reads the book Hanson gave her, while Lily gets ready to celebrate with Wesley and his friends. Abby warns her to come back early, and Lily promises she won't be late, asking Abby to cover for her if their mother returns. As Lily leaves, we notice a car parked in front of the house watching. Lily joins her friends at a party in an old factory where Wesley gives her alcohol and drugs. A few hours later, Abby gets hungry. Her mother calls to say she will be late and asks about Lily. Abby lies, saying Lily is in the bathroom. Bored, Abby decides to join Lily to change the mood. She puts on makeup and borrows a jacket from Lily. The car is still waiting outside, and as soon as Abby moves, it follows her. Abby arrives at the factory. Lily is surprised to see her, especially in her jacket. Abby explains she was bored and wanted to celebrate. Lily notices her sister is tipsy and asks about the drugs. Lily downplays it. Wesley approaches and compliments Abby. Lily insists Abby leave, wanting to keep their worlds separate. Lily tells Abby she knows she is doing this because they will be apart soon, but then accuses Abby of copying her style. She gets angry, tries to take the jacket off Abby, and insults her life and her English teacher. Hurt, Abby throws the jacket in Lily's face and predicts Lily will end up like their mother. Abandoned in a failed relationship, Lily loses control and slaps Abby in front of everyone. She immediately apologizes, but Abby tells her she hates her. Lily runs out of the party, and Abby follows her while Wesley decides to continue his party. Here we reach the scene we started with. We understand the car watching the house was Hanson's. His goal from the beginning was to abduct Abby, not Lily. When he saw her from behind wearing the jacket, he called out to her thinking she was Abby, but changed his plan at the last moment and decided to detain Lily instead. That night, Abby returns home. When her mother asks about Lily, Abby brushes her off. Later, Abby wakes up to find her sister still missing. They report it to the police. Eva tells them it isn't normal. 2 days later, detectives Tony and Rachel summon them, revealing they found Lily's phone near the factory. Eva is furious at the lack of progress. Tony asks Abby about the party. Abby explains it was just a gathering where Lily wanted to celebrate with her boyfriend. They confirm Wesley's alibi. Rachel asks about drugs, and Abby denies seeing any. Then they ask about the fight. They reveal Wesley told them they fought. Abby admits it was a normal twin fight and that Lily slapped her. Eva is shocked and asks what Abby said to make her sister raise her hand against her. At that moment, Abby feels accused and asks, "What do you mean? Are you saying it's my fault?" Meanwhile, we see Zoe, Hanson's wife, filling out forms. She asks him to come with her to the doctor so they can try to solve their fertility issues together. He agrees. He walks toward the TV and sees the news about Lily's disappearance. Eva announces that her daughter is missing and she has no news, pleading for anyone who has seen or glimpsed her to inform the police. Zoe comments, "She looks like a poor girl. Maybe she ran away since she's a 17-year-old teenager." He stops her, saying, "How can you talk like that about someone you don't know? God help her family right now. They must be worried sick." The next day, the police welcome volunteers for the search party for Lily. Surprise, surprise. Hanson shows up to volunteer too. Talk about the killer attending the victim's funeral. He arrives and tells them he knows the area inside out, offering to guide them and suggest exactly where to look. Officer Tommy thanks him and shows him the areas they plan to cover today. But Hanson steers them away from those spots, pointing to another location. He suggests they consider it because it's an isolated area with railroad tracks and a river, hinting that something bad might have happened there and they might find her. Tommy tactfully hints that Hanson should leave the police work to him. When Rachel arrives, Tommy informs her they will search the village and areas near the house first. However, he mentions a change of plans to also cover the railroad area, referring to the spot Hanson pointed out. Later, one of Wesley's friends approaches Abby, saying Wesley sent him. He asks if she told the police anything about the drugs. At that moment, Hansen appears. Sensing the guy is bothering her, he orders him to leave. He checks on Abby, telling her she will be in his group. He mentions he spent 6 years in the Boy Scouts, assuring her not to worry and that they will find her sister soon. They split into groups and head into the forest to look for her or any trace leading to her. During the search, Hansen talks to Abby, saying, "I can't imagine how hard this is for you right now. But I'm here for you and I feel your pain." She thanks him. He again asks her to forget he is her teacher and just call him by his name. Then he hints that he is suspicious of Wesley, saying he seems a bit shady and he doesn't trust him. She confesses that it is all her fault. If she hadn't come and fought with Lily, she would still be here. He tells her, "Don't say that. It's not your fault." She replies that he should tell that to her mother and the police who are treating her like a suspect. He gets closer, hugs her, and comforts her. Meanwhile, Lily wakes up finding herself in a strange place. She tries to stand but finds herself chained. She crawls toward the door, trying to get rid of the shackle on her leg. When she can't, she goes to the lock and tries to pick it, but all her attempts fail. A few hours later, Hansen enters the basement. He tells her, "I've been turning the world upside down looking for you, me and half the town." Terrified, she asks, "Why are you doing this?" She screams with all her might, hoping someone might hear and save her. He steps on the chain, knocking her to the ground. He tells her, "Save your breath, don't tire yourself out. We're alone here anyway, and no one can hear you." On the other side, we see Abby confronting Wesley, asking, "How could you leave her alone that day and not run after her? Aren't you supposed to be her boyfriend?" He reminds her that Lily left because of her. She gets angry and walks away, but he stops her and apologizes. Then he asks, "Did you say anything to the police?" She understands his meaning and tells him to relax. She didn't mention the drugs because she is sure if she did, they would blame Lily for bringing this on herself and might stop searching for her. She leaves him and walks home. Hansen drives by and offers her a ride. Looks like take two for him. She gets in. On the way, he continues dropping hints about Wesley, or rather trying to frame someone so the police close the investigation and he gets rid of the headache. Suddenly, she notices he missed the turn. When she alerts him, he stays silent and doesn't answer. Then he apologizes, saying, "Sorry, I zoned out a bit." He goes back to the turn he missed and drops her off at home, deciding to settle for just Lily and not get greedy. He's a criminal, sure, but a content one. On his way to Lily, Zoe calls him. He has led her to believe he goes to the cabin to work on his novel. When she complains about his absence, he says, "What, don't you want to be married to a famous author?" She tells him she is happy with him just the way he is, and asks him not to be late. When he arrives at the cabin, he enters carrying a gift box. He takes off his teacher Hansen glasses and goes down to Lily to be his true, criminal self with her. He asks, "Missed me, didn't you?" He plays some music and points out the gift, asking her to come open it. She finds a white dress inside. Terrified, she begs him to let her go when he asks if she likes it or wants him to change it. He slaps her, saying, "From now on, this is your home." He tells her he put effort into the basement to suit her taste. Holding the dress, he orders her to put it on. He has completely lost it. She has no choice but to play along, so she does what he wants and wears it. He approaches her, telling her it suits her very well. A year passes since Lily's disappearance. We see Hansen going down to the basement, bringing her a gift. He asks, "Missed me?" We see her sitting there, dressed up. He treats her like his doll, so she plays along and tells him she missed him. He says, "I knew it. Come on, open your gift yourself." This time we find he brought her a crib. We discover she is pregnant with his child. On the other side, we see Abby has changed her style. Wesley stops her, blaming her for staying out until dawn with his old crew. He tells her this isn't her life, and she is better than this. She congratulates him on changing, leaving them, and getting a life. She adds, "Unlike you, others couldn't do that." He asks why she is acting this way. She reminds him that tomorrow is her and Lily's birthday, and it is the first year they won't celebrate together. She leaves him and walks away. Back to Lily, she is trying to adapt to her new life after losing hope of escape. Hansen comes to her saying, "I couldn't forget that tomorrow is your birthday." He brings her a doll as a gift, telling her she will be the best mother in the world. She asks him if he could take her out just to see the sky after spending a whole year between four walls, promising she won't try to escape. Suddenly, we see him grabbing her by the throat, warning her never to mention leaving this place again. At the same time, we see Zoe paying a surprise visit to the cabin. She spots his novel manuscript titled Baby Doll. Curiosity gets the better of her and she starts reading it. She hears a sound coming from the basement, even though he had strictly forbidden her from going near it. She calls him later, and he answers while stifling Lily's screams. Zoe asks, "Where are you?" He tells her he is at the cabin, to which she surprises him by saying, "So am I." She hears a noise in the background and asks about it. He tries to silence Lily and tells Zoe he is out jogging in the woods. When she insists she will wait for him, he tells her not to bother and that he will stop by her place later. He eventually goes to her house. She confronts him, complaining that they never spend time together anymore. He is always at school or writing, leaving her alone most of the time. He doesn't respond. Suddenly, she asks about his novel. Who is this baby doll? He gets annoyed that she read his work without permission. She explains, "The title just caught my eye, so I read a few pages. I thought maybe it would help me feel closer to you. He snaps back. You've become unbearable. Nagging, surveillance, and now doubting me and violating my privacy. He cruelly adds, it's a good thing we didn't have kids. Realizing he went too far and hurt her deeply, he approaches her and tries to comfort her. Meanwhile, we see Abby going down a dark path with drugs, hanging out with Lily's old crowd. Wesley arrives to save her from them and get her off that path. He sets one of their cars on fire and gets into a fight. He runs after Abby, but she stops him, saying, "There's no need to chase me. The one you should have chased disappeared and is gone." He tells her he came to check on her and asks her to stay away from them, just as he did, warning her that nothing good will come from knowing them. Before she leaves, he says, "By the way, happy birthday." She lets him walk her home and thanks him for his help. When she gets home, her mother is waiting, having seen them from the window. She scolds Abby, "So that's who you were with? How will you face your sister when she comes back and finds you with her boyfriend?" Abby accuses her mother of being drunk and not knowing what she is saying. She goes to her room and wishes her sister a happy birthday. Meanwhile, Lily is about to go into labor. Hansen enters and is surprised she is early. He approaches to check on her, saying he can see the head. In that moment, she wraps the chain around his neck. She pulls with all her might until he drops to the floor, semi-conscious. She grabs the key, unlocks her shackle, and rushes toward the door, desperate to escape the basement. But in her panic, she forgets the chain still attached to her other leg. Hansen grabs the chain and yanks it, causing her to tumble all the way down the stairs. Less than an hour later, Lily goes into full labor. Since they are alone, he delivers the baby himself, ordering her to cooperate and listen to him. She screams with all her strength and gives birth. And when she wakes up and asks for her daughter, he blames her, saying all of this happened because she tried to escape. He tells her they lost the baby. It was a boy. She doesn't believe him, accusing him of lying. She insists she heard the baby cry. He dismisses it, claiming she must have been dreaming and confirming the baby was stillborn. She breaks down in tears, and he sits there comforting her. A few days later, we see her in the basement holding the doll, talking to it as if it were her daughter. She apologizes for trying to escape, explaining she only wanted her to be born free and didn't know it would cost her life. Suddenly, she has a breakdown and smashes the doll into 100 pieces, destroys the crib, and wrecks everything around her. When Hansen comes down, he finds her lying on the floor, bleeding out from self-inflicted wounds. He refuses to let her die that easily. He stitches her wrists and saves her. When she wakes up, she tells him this won't be the first time and she will do it again. He tells her she isn't the only one suffering. His heart aches for his daughter too. He plays a voicemail from her mother on his phone talking about her. Lily is deeply moved. He then reads her poetry to calm her down. Meanwhile, Abby and Eva haven't given up hope. They distribute flyers everywhere, hoping someone might have seen her. A year passes, then another, with still no news. We learn that Wesley and Abby are now together, but they haven't given up on finding Lily. Back to Lily, she realizes Hansen forgot to rechain her after assaulting her. She climbs the stairs and opens the door. She enters the corridor and finds another door behind it. She grabs a piece of wood and tries to break the lock. Hansen, midway on the road, suddenly remembers he forgot to chain her. He spins his car around, speeding back to catch her before she escapes, but it is too late. Lily succeeds in breaking the lock and opening the door. At that moment, Hansen spots police cars chasing him. He is forced to pull over. They ask for his license and warn him about speeding, threatening a ticket if he does it again. Meanwhile, Lily breaks a window and runs into the forest, escaping the fate of being a prisoner forever. She reaches the end of the woods, finding the river in front of her and the forest behind. She runs along the riverbank until she finally reaches the road and flags down the first car she sees. The driver takes her home. She rings the doorbell. Eva can't believe her eyes seeing her daughter standing there after all these years of absence. Lily collapses into her mother's arms, unable to believe she survived to see this moment. Terrified that Hansen might have followed her, she insists her mother lock all the windows and not open the door to anyone. At that moment, Abby opens the door and is shocked to see her sister. She runs to hug her, saying, "I felt you were still alive." Abby tells her mother they need to take Lily to the hospital, but Lily stops her, insisting no one can know she is here and making them promise not to tell a soul. Eva spots the police approaching the house and runs to open the door. Lily panics and backs away, but her mother reassures her they are detectives here to talk to her. Tommy introduces himself and asks her to tell him everything, assuring her not to be afraid. She explains she can't talk because he won't stay quiet and will hurt them. Tommy asks, "Who is he and how will he hurt you?" She reveals, "He said if I ever tried to escape, he would come and take my sister." They are all shocked by what they hear. At the same time, we see Hansen returning home to his wife and daughter. He tells them he has a surprise and they need to pack their bags immediately because they are traveling in a few hours. Back to Tommy, he asks Lily if the person who threatened her and her family is the same one who held her captive and prevented her from escaping. We understand Tommy is trying to confirm she was held against her will all this time without pressuring her. Abby leans in and whispers that she must say his name because they won't be safe until he is arrested. At that moment, Lily shocks them all by revealing her captor's name, Mr. Hansen. Everyone tries to process the shock. Tommy leaves the room cursing him, telling Rachel, and to think he was standing right there searching with us. He orders her to assign a unit to guard Lily's house, send another to Hansen's house, and a third to the school. Rachel points out they need to get Lily examined first to prove the charges against him. Indeed, later that day, a unit raids Hansen's house, but he is one step ahead and manages to escape. On the other side, we see them taking Lily for a forensic examination. They check every inch of her and take samples. During the exam, the doctor tells her, "While examining your pelvis, I found changes indicating you were pregnant and gave birth recently." She asks Lily if she was indeed pregnant. Abby and her mother look at Lily in surprise, waiting for her to deny it. When she stays completely silent, her mother leaves the room, unable to bear what her daughter has been through. Lily admits to the doctor that she was pregnant and her daughter died during childbirth. Abby is visibly moved and upset. The doctor informs her she will arrange an appointment with a psychiatrist soon to help her overcome her trauma. After the doctor leaves, Abby comforts her sister. At the hospital, they continue questioning Lily. Rachel asks if she saw any sign of his wife or anyone else. Lily replies she only saw him. Rachel reviews the escape details, asking if she remembers how long it took to get from the cabin to the road. Lily explains she didn't calculate it. Her only goal was to run fast before he came back. When Rachel asks if she saw a river, a mountain, or anything that could help locate the cabin, Lily recalls seeing a beach with a mountain behind it. Then she went back into the forest, located the road by the sound of cars, and flagged down the first car she saw, an old man who drove her home. Tommy thanks her for her help. She asks if they caught him. He assures her it is only a matter of time. We learn Tommy blocked Hansen's escape route out of town, preventing him from traveling now that his name and photo are everywhere. Driving with Zoe, Hansen sees a checkpoint ahead. He asks her, "Remember that student who was obsessed with me and whom I had a fling with?" He continues, claiming she couldn't handle him leaving her and started spreading rumors everywhere, filing false police reports to ruin his reputation. He explains he needs to disappear for a while to prove his innocence. When she believes him, he U-turns and speeds away from the checkpoint before the police spot him. When Lily returns from the hospital, reporters are swarming the house. Tommy helps her, covering her with his jacket. She is overjoyed to enter her room, feeling that everything is just as she left it. She throws herself on the bed, puts on her clothes, and sprays her perfume. She jumps and dances with joy, but suddenly she gathers her photos and breaks down crying, entering a panic attack. Abby comes in and calms her down. On the other side, we see Hansen sitting with Zoe and their daughter in a restaurant. He spots officers nearby and tells his wife he is going to the bathroom. However, they spot him at the last moment, chase him, surround him from all sides, and finally arrest him. At the same time, Abby is sitting with Lily, reminiscing. Suddenly, Abby gets a notification on her phone. She sees the news of Hansen's arrest. She tells Lily the news is all over the internet. Lily can't believe she is finally free from this nightmare. At the police station, we see them interrogating him. He claims all the allegations are lies with no basis in truth. He states Lily was his student and was obsessed with him. He admits he made a mistake with her once, confessed to his wife, and ended it. He claims she has been stalking him ever since, insisting this happened before her disappearance. Tommy isn't buying it. He asks, "Where were you holding her?" He confronts him with the medical exam results, proving she was held in a basement for 5 years. Hansen retorts, "If you could actually prove that, you wouldn't be sitting here interrogating me." Tommy ends the interrogation and leaves. He calls Rachel, asking for good news. She tells him they found the cabin, but Hansen beat them to it and destroyed any evidence that could incriminate him. She sends him photos. When he opens the location, he realizes it is in the exact area Hansen had diverted them away from during the search years ago. The next morning, Lily approaches Abby and asks about Wesley, wondering if he left town or is still there. Abby tells her he works as a mechanic now. Lily is happy, noting he was always obsessed with cars. Ava is annoyed by her daughter's questions about him, especially knowing her other daughter is now in a relationship with him and hiding it. Rachel joins the investigation and reopens the questioning, showing Hansen a photo of him with Lily found in the cabin. She asks him to explain. He says, "I'm very happy you found it. This photo proves my point about her stalking me." He claims she always took photos like that with him, insisting it was before she disappeared. Rachel isn't convinced. Tommy interrupts, asking, "Where did you bury the boy?" Hansen replies, "What boy? She went and got pregnant by someone, and you found no one but me to be the scapegoat and pin the kid on?" And Tommy informs him and his lawyer that he will file a request with the public prosecutor to charge him with kidnapping and statutory rape. Hansen loses his temper, shouting he is innocent as the police detain him. In the morning, Wesley comes by. Lily opens the door. Seeing him for the first time since her disappearance, he is speechless. She tells him she is happy to see him, and he replies he is too. Abby watches from afar, saying, "I didn't expect you to come so suddenly." He reveals Lily called and asked him to come. Lily invites him to stay for lunch like old times. They sit together and she tries to make conversation, asking if he still lives in the same house. Abby looks at him. He tells Lily he bought an apartment and lives there now. Lily reminds him they always dreamed of living in an apartment together. Abby hears this and looks uncomfortable. We learn she was living with Wesley in his apartment before her sister returned. Then she asks him if he still sees their old group, but he tells her he stayed away from them. She says, What else has changed? Tell me." Her mother interrupts, asking her to finish her food. Wesley breaks the silence, saying, "I'm sorry, Lily, for everything that happened to you." He tells her he has replayed that ominous night in his head countless times, wishing he had acted and saved her, admitting he wishes he could turn back time. She cuts him off, saying, "Time won't go back. What's done is done." Abby accidentally spills water on Lily. When Wesley leans in to help, Lily pulls away, saying she will go change and come back. Eva asks Wesley to leave, but Abby refuses, asking, "What will we tell Lily?" She scolds him for coming in the first place. He insists they must be honest with her about their relationship. Just then, Lily returns and overhears them. Abby starts, "I was going to explain everything." Lily asks, "Since when have you been together?" "Since I disappeared." He justifies it by saying they were friends, and then their relationship suddenly developed. Lily is shocked, saying, "Since when? You never stood him, Abby." She continues, "Wait, let me get this straight. While I was living the worst days of my life, you two were living together and falling in love?" She tells them she is disappointed in them and walks away. The next day, Lily sits in front of the TV replaying the news of Hansen's arrest over and over. Abby comes to apologize, sitting next to her and trying to talk, but Lily doesn't respond, continuing to rewatch the news. Abby leaves and goes to pack her things from Wesley's apartment. He asks her to stay, hoping Lily might accept their relationship. But Abby tells him her sister has nothing left to live for but her, and she isn't ready to lose her. In prison, inmates gather around Hansen, taking his crime personally. They tell him they can't stand scum who commit crimes like his. Before they can beat him, a female guard saves him at the last moment and kicks them out. When he thanks her, she tells him it's just her job and advises him to make a friend or two, or he won't survive in there. Tommy sits down to investigate the case details and discovers Lily isn't his first victim. A student named Isabel disappeared the same way 7 years ago, and no trace of her was ever found. On the other side, we see Zoe visiting Hansen in prison. She tells him their daughter asks about him, and she doesn't know what to say. He assures her he will be out soon. She tells him she doesn't know what to believe anymore, pointing out he really did spend long periods at the cabin and rarely came home. He gets angry, claiming he was writing his novel. She asks if he is hiding anything else. He says, "We've talked about this more than once." She reminds him he only admitted to having an affair with a girl who got pregnant, but never said who she was. He confesses that Alice is actually Lily's daughter. We realize he took the baby to Zoe to raise as their own, lying to everyone, and lied to Lily, telling her the baby died during childbirth. We see reporters gathering around Zoe, asking if she believes her husband's statement. She tells them, "I believe every word he said, and I will stand by him to the end." She claims Lily is a delusional girl spreading baseless rumors. At the same time, Lily and her mother are watching the news. Her mother turns off the TV, calling Zoe stupid for letting her husband deceive her and use her to spread his narrative. Lily is upset that people don't believe her, thinking she is chasing Hansen and spreading rumors about him. Tommy goes to interrogate Hansen, asking if he taught a student named Isabel at his old school. He mentions there has been no news of her for 7 years and asks, "You remember her, don't you?" Hansen chooses to remain silent. Tommy places her photo in front of him, saying, "Poor girl. When she disappeared, she was the same age as Lily." His lawyer intervenes, asking, "What are you implying?" Tommy replies he isn't implying anything. He just wants to hear his client's answers. However, Hansen maintains his silence, refusing to say a word that could be used against him. After Tommy leaves, the lawyer speaks to Hansen, explaining that if Lily doesn't withdraw her accusations and he is charged with Isabel's case too, he could face a life sentence. He suggests that in his situation, a confession would improve his standing and might distract them from reopening Isabel's case, potentially getting him out in 7 to 10 years at most. Hansen asks him to inform them he is ready to confess, but on one condition: he will only confess in front of Lily. The news reaches Tommy, who tries to convince his superiors to let him arrange a meeting between Hansen and Lily. He promises there will be no danger to her life, and argues they might find Isabel's location and save her if she is still alive. They authorize him for the mission, and they agree. He leaves and asks Rachel to contact the prison administration to prepare for the meeting. She warns him Lily isn't mentally ready for this. Seeing him might cause a breakdown we can't control. He assures her a psychiatrist will be there, but she remains unhappy with his recklessness, asking what if, after all this, Isabel turns out to be long dead. He poses another hypothesis. She might be alive and on the verge of dying from lack of water and food. Later, Tommy visits Lily's home. He tells her there is a high probability Hansen held a girl before her. He explains she was a student at his old school who disappeared a while ago. He asks if she found any signs in the basement indicating someone was there before her. She replies she didn't see anything and asks where he thinks the girl might be now. He says maybe she escaped and was too scared to testify against him. Lily adds, or maybe she's still a prisoner. She confesses there were indeed marks on the wall. When he asks what kind, she says she isn't entirely sure, but they resembled the first two letters of Isabel's name. He reveals Hansen refuses to cooperate but decided to confess and tell them about Isabel on one condition. He does it in front of her. Terrified, she says, "Impossible. I can't go see him." He replies, "I'm sorry, but I have to ask this favor of you because no one else can help us find Isabel." Her mother refuses and shows him to the door. Police comb the areas near his cabin and house, looking for any trace of Isabel. Tommy calls Rachel, telling her she was right. Lily refused to meet him. He asks if they found anything. She delivers the bad news. It's like looking for a needle in a haystack. He orders them to intensify the search to save her if she is still alive. Meanwhile, Lily meets Wesley. They walk together and he apologizes for hurting her when she returned to find him in a relationship with her sister. She tells him it doesn't matter now, saying, "I wasn't here, and you surely didn't expect me to suddenly reappear after all this time." She takes him to the factory, telling him it's her favorite place because it reminds her of old times. Sensing she is cold, he takes off his jacket and gives it to her. She remarks, "Wow, you still use the same cologne." She leans in closer, but he gently pushes her away. Hurt, she starts to leave, but he stops her. He tells her he won't make the same mistake twice and won't let her walk away. She replies, "You're too late for that move. If you had caught me 5 years ago, he wouldn't have taken me and we would have been together." She asks what the problem is and why he doesn't want her. He says, "What we had was special, Lily, but we aren't 17 anymore. We grew up." He confesses he truly loves Abby. He walks her home. As they enter, Abby sees them together with Lily wearing his jacket. Lily goes to her room. Wesley calls out to Abby to check on her. Forgetting they are broken up, she asks what he was doing with Lily. He explains it isn't what she thinks and confesses he loves her. She retorts, "But you loved her first." Just as he is about to clarify, her mother walks him to the door and steps outside with him. She hints their lives have enough drama. He clarifies he has no intention of coming between her daughters. She tells him, "You abandoned my daughter once, and I won't let you do it again." She leaves him standing there. In prison, Hansen becomes a target for the inmates. They wait for him to return to his cell and beat him severely. That night, Abby enters her sister's room and finds her crying. Lily confesses she tried to get close to Wesley without considering Abby's feelings. Abby comforts her. Lily says, "I've become like Hansen, only thinking about what I want." She reveals he held a girl before her. Abby asks where she is now. Lily says they are still looking for her and need her help. Lily adds, "I thought everything would go back to normal once I returned home, but I realized that's impossible. So much has changed." She points out that Wesley really loves Abby. Abby lies, claiming she doesn't love him. Suddenly, Abby runs to the bathroom and throws up. Lily realizes she is pregnant. Abby apologizes, crying in her arms. The next morning, Abby drops a plate. When they try to help, she explodes, shouting that no one understands her. Everyone will move on with their lives while she stays stuck in place. In the heat of the moment, she blames her sister for being pregnant by Wesley. She declares she will get an abortion, but her mother stops her and comforts her. Lily tells them she waited for them to come save her, even knowing it was impossible, enduring beatings, assault, and humiliation from Hansen every day. She admits she can't stop thinking about the other girl, who must be waiting for rescue just like she was. She declares, "I have to go talk to him and find out where she is." The next day, she prepares to meet him, taking Abby along. As soon as he sees her, he calls her baby girl. She asks about Isabel's location. "Did you hurt her like you hurt me?" He begs her to tell the truth and get him out. She replies, "The truth is, you held me captive, and you held Isabel before me." She tries to play on his emotions to get the location. Her sister is confused by her tactics, but Lily persists. However, Hansen continues his act, trying to portray her as delusional. He claims what happened between them wasn't love, that he is a married man who loves his wife. Abby attacks him, but guards restrain her. We realize he never intended to tell the truth. He just wanted to make Lily look crazy. Lily's mental state deteriorates. Eva blames Tommy and demands he stay away from them. Zoe visits Hansen in prison. He rehearses with her what she needs to say at his upcoming hearing. Tommy visits the family, asking them to check with Lily if she is certain her daughter died during childbirth. They ask why. He reveals he suspects her daughter is still alive. It's just a gut feeling, but he isn't sure. Before the hearing, Abby goes to Zoe's house, promising not to take more than 5 minutes. She tries to wake her up to reality, telling her that her husband isn't who she thinks he is. She explains he held her sister captive for 5 years, hurt her, assaulted her, got her pregnant, and took her daughter before she could even say goodbye. Suddenly, Abby spots Alice. She is a carbon copy of Lily. Zoe gets angry, ordering Alice to her room. Abby asks, "Is what I'm seeing real?" She realizes Hansen told Lily she lost her baby, while they hid her there for years as their own. She declares she is calling the police. Zoe tries to stop her and accidentally pushes her. Abby falls, hitting her head. Zoe tries to wake her but sees blood pooling around her head. At the police station, Tommy receives the reports he requested on Zoe. He also suspects their daughter. The surprise comes when he learns Zoe had a hysterectomy over 4 years ago, meaning Alice cannot be her biological daughter. Furthermore, Rachel informs him Alice was registered 3 months after the date Lily gave birth. They are now certain she is Lily's daughter. We go to Hansen's trial. The prosecutor lists 3 charges against him, but he insists on his innocence. Zoe is called to the witness stand. She raises her hand, swears the oath, and begins reciting the script Hansen fed her. She says she has loved him since she was 18 and that he is the best husband anyone could wish for. Suddenly, she stops. She doesn't finish the script. Instead, she confesses to everyone present that he turned out to be nothing like she thought. Everyone is shocked, especially Hansen. The judge asks her to continue. She reveals he always disappeared, claiming to write a novel, but every time he returned, she noticed scratches on his hands. She says, "I blinded myself to avoid seeing the truth. The truth is, he lied to me and used me to stand here before you and say words he dictated to me word for word, demanding his acquittal." She points out to the court that he is dangerous and could have hurt Lily or anyone else. She admits she believes Lily's story about the abduction and assault. Hansen loses his temper, calling her a liar, and the hearing ends abruptly. On the other side, Abby wakes up. We see Detective Tommy trying to break into the house. As soon as he enters and sees her, she confirms to him that Alice is indeed Lily's daughter. When Abby returns home, she tells her sister she went to Hansen's house and met his wife. She drops the bombshell. "Your daughter is alive. She didn't die like you thought." She tells her, "I saw her, and she is a piece of you. They took your daughter and played happy family in front of everyone." She adds that this isn't just her opinion. Tommy confirmed that Zoe cannot conceive, and mentioned that the moment he saw the girl, he felt she belonged to their family. After the hearing, they prepare to transport Hansen back to prison. Suddenly, he falls to the ground, faking a seizure. He smashes his head with the handcuffs. The female guard, who is his accomplice, unlocks him. He immediately knocks her down and manages to escape. Lily looks at photos of Alice on her phone, seeing a carbon copy of herself. At that moment, Tommy bursts in with the shocking news that Hansen has escaped. He tells them he is there to move them to a safe house and asks them to pack quickly. Before they leave, Lily advises her sister that she must tell Wesley she is pregnant. He has a right to know. Abby takes him aside and tells him. He is overjoyed, but she tells him she just wanted him to know in case anything happens to her. She says goodbye and walks away. Before they leave the house, a call comes from an unknown number on Eva's phone. Tommy asks her to answer on speaker. They hear Hansen's voice calling Lily baby girl. Lily takes the phone, locks herself in the bathroom, and confronts him. "Why won't you leave me alone? Why did you hide that my daughter is alive?" He claims he had to because he saw her attacking him and hurting herself, so he feared she would hurt the baby too. He tells her he isn't mad at her and won't give up on her, promising to see her soon. Tommy takes them to the safe house. He gets a call from Rachel informing him they found a trace of Zoe's car and are pursuing her. We see Zoe holding Alice. She hears the police ordering her to stop. She doesn't resist. She says goodbye to Alice and hands her over to them. Then she approaches the bridge, ready to jump. Rachel grabs her at the last second, pulling her back and saving her life. Zoe swears she knew nothing and that he lied to her all this time. Rachel returns to the family with the updates. They arrested Zoe, who was in shock. It turns out Hansen controlled her financially and psychologically. As for Alice, she explains that a child her age can't process what is happening, so she has been placed in temporary foster care until they can gradually explain the truth to her. In the morning, Abby takes a sharp weapon and sneaks out of the house while everyone is sleeping. She goes to the cabin looking for him. Suddenly, she hears his voice. When she turns around, he is right in her face. He discovers it is Abby, not Lily. She is disguised in her sister's clothes to avenge her. He approaches her, promising he won't hurt her. Back at the safe house, the family wakes up and can't find Abby. Lily tells them she has an idea where she might be. Back to Abby, he tries to maneuver her toward the basement. He trips her and they both tumble down the stairs. She attacks him to keep him away, but he stands up and taunts her. He tells her they lived happily here. He hints that if it had been her, it would have been perfect, but his plan was ruined, so he had to settle for her sister. He restrains her. Suddenly, she grabs the sharp tool and stabs him in the neck. He falls to the floor, bleeding out. At that moment, the police arrive at the cabin. Lily rushes in. They watch as Hansen dies before their eyes. Lily takes her sister and they leave. Later that day, Rachel arrives and informs them they found Isabel. They go to see her and find her decomposed body. She has been dead for years. We learn Abby is pregnant with twins. They all celebrate the beautiful news. Lily tells her she will be the best mother in the world. Finally, the right time comes. Lily visits her daughter at the foster home. She introduces herself. Alice shows her the dollhouse, explaining she is just a guest here and won't stay long. Lily says, "Me too, but actually I came to see you." Alice replies that she is okay with Lily being her mom. Lily promises to visit her every day until that happens.